Family Counseling Services is just one of the 50 agencies that depend on your support during the Day of Giving. Our Brian Burns tells us more about the services they offer and exactly how your money helps.
Family Counseling Services provides help to strengthen children, individuals, and families by providing professional therapy, education, advocacy, and other support at no charge. And the service covers all age groups.
For people starting as young as age 3, then we'll do play therapy with that age group, all the way up into our senior services program for people in the senior population who have really a specialized set of needs.
Christy Phillips, the clinical director for Family Counseling Services, says any problem affecting one family member will impact all family members.
Just because parents are divorced doesn't mean that they don't parent together anymore. And so we work really hard to make sure that parents are working together to do what's best for their children.
Phillips says the agency focuses on every issue that could affect a family, like crime victim services.
If you're talking about the legal process, time off from work to deal with investigators, making statements, and of course that also involves all the emotional processes that goes along with them.
The nonprofit agency provides therapy that costs over $100 an hour.
Our average reimbursement tends to be about $55 to $56 an hour, so we suffer a loss for each therapy hour.
David Scroll, the agency's executive director, says family counseling provided 8,000 therapy hours each of the past 2 years, and that number jumped after the hurricane.
I think post-Harvey, everything like that, we look to be on schedule to do about 10,000 billable hours.
The agency depends on donations.
The funding that we get from things like the Day of Giving allows us to provide the services for people who don't have resources.
Family Counseling Services, another agency supported by the Coastal Bend Day of Giving. Brian Burns, 3 News.
And again, 50 nonprofits are looking for your help. The online fundraiser is on November 13th. KIII is teaming up with the Coastal Bend Community Foundation to hopefully raise more than $2 million. Just go to our website to see how you can get involved.